Hey there folks, don't be alarmed by the title. I have no intention of dying anytime soon. I intend to live a very long life and I do already have a will. We met with lawyers a few years ago, everything is spelt out, all the money distribution, all the property distribution, all that is taken care of for my kids and all that kind of stuff. However, there are a couple of things that a will doesn't specify that I wanted to talk about because it's been on my mind lately. And that has to do with, at least my will doesn't specify, it has to do with what should be done with my remains after I pass away, which is hopefully many, many years in the future. Now, I'm going to use this video kind of as an extension of my will in that respect. I don't know if it's legally binding, but this is a public forum. People can see it. You'll all be witnesses. And one way or another, I'm going to keep this video live somewhere in a public forum for as long as I live, at least try to. I don't know if YouTube's going to be around in 50 or 60 years, but there'll be something, and I'll keep passing this along, because I don't think I'm going to change my mind about this. Once again, it has to do with, what we do with our remains. Now, to a lot of people, it's a religious issue. And those of you who have watched my videos kind of know my religious views. And I won't go into that in detail. However, I do have, and my beliefs religiously could possibly change between now and when I die. But there's one thing I believe in that's not going to change. And that's this. There are two possibilities for what's going to happen to my soul, my essence, my consciousness, whatever makes me me. There are only two things that can happen to that thing after I die. One possibility is that this essence, this soul, will move on to some kind of afterlife somewhere. That's one possibility. The other possibility is I will just cease to exist and there will be no consciousness. There will be no me. And I firmly believe that there is no third possibility. And it's certainly not a possibility that whatever is me is going to somehow still reside in my physical body after I die. My body, after I die, I'm convinced, is nothing but an empty shell. And my message to my loved ones here, after I die, I want you to treat my body for what it is. And that is simply a piece of trash that needs to be disposed of. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but I want to make that point because I've always thought it's silly that people somehow treat the body as if the person's there. We dress up the body. We put in a nice fancy coffin and, people come up and they pray over the body and they kiss the body. The person's not there. Either they're gone and they don't exist, or they're in some better place. And if you want to pray to that better place, pray to that better place, or accept they're gone. I think it's silly to be like kissing the body and all that. The person's not there. It's an empty shell. And that's how I want, my loved ones to treat my body after I die. For a couple of reasons. It's not like the whole business of getting a burial plot and all that. It's not very environmentally conscious. But even more important, on a more personal level, I don't want my loved ones, my descendants, to waste time and money, having this big ass wake and renting out a big funeral home and all this kind of stuff. I mean, whatever money my kids have when I die, and whatever money I, pass on to them, I don't want them to spend it on prettying up my dead body and having a huge wake. I want them to spend that money on themselves and on my future grandkids. That's what I want them to spend their money on, not on the burial arrangements for me. And look, and I know, some people say, oh, I've got to save face. I don't want anyone to think I'm cheap, that I'm not respecting my father. Well, look, I'm making this video. You can show people this video if they question you. As a matter of fact, I'll get to this in a second, but when we do have a small little wake type of dealy, put this video on whatever type of TV device you have then and just show it. So people know this is what I wanted. And what do I want? Well, as I said, I don't want a big wake. I don't want you spending money on that or any of that kind of stuff. And I don't want to take up a big place in the ground. I know there's a new thing that's become popular, like natural burial. Just pick some random spot in the wild and they bury you there. Yeah, maybe that would work, but the problem with that is kind of, my body would still be around for a while and you might feel compelled to have a wake and all that kind of stuff. I like to nip that in the bud. So what I'm gonna request is just that as soon as possible after I die, just have me cremated. So there'll be no body, there'll be no open casket wake, there'll be none of that kind of stuff. I'll be cremated. And I don't want you, when you get the ashes, I don't want you to stick them in some fancy ass urn. Okay, if you really want to, if you have a fancy ass urn, you can do that. But don't go out and buy some fancy ass urn to store my ashes in. I don't want that. Just take the thing, take it home with you. And if you want to have a wake, that's again, I don't want the money going to some funeral home. If you want to have a wake, just have it at home. Just have it in one of your homes. You know, my loved ones, my descendants. Just, that's where you have it. Invite people over. You can talk about me. You can tell stories. And if you want, you can have my ashes there. You know, but once again, don't even fancy that up, okay? And once again, if people question it, play that video at that little home wake so people know where I'm coming from, that you are doing what Dad wanted, okay, kids? That because once again, I don't have to worry about that. And what should you do with these ashes? I really want you to just dispose of them. I don't want people to treat my ashes as if they're me. I don't want you to say someday, oh look, up on the shelf there in that vase, that's Grandpa. No. It's a bunch of ashes. It's no different than cigarette ashes. It's an inanimate object. So I don't want people to worry about it and have to like put up a shrine and, oh, if they knock it over, oh my God, I knocked Grandpa down. No, it's not me. It's not Grandpa or whoever, or Uncle. It's a bunch of ashes, okay? And it doesn't mean anything. So you don't have to go through that. I request that you just get rid of the ashes. And I don't care what you do with them. For all I care, you can dump them in the garbage. It makes no difference to me. Either I'm going to be, you know, either I don't exist, I'm not going to care, or I'll be somewhere in the afterlife looking down on you, and I'm not going to care what you do with the ashes. So just dump them. And look, if you don't want to do that, if it makes you feel better, spread them somewhere. I don't care where. I'm not going to make a request, oh, I want my ashes spread in this place. It doesn't matter to me. But if it makes you feel better, and if it's spreading them somewhere, spreading them in a special place to you, gives you a level of comfort, then go ahead and spread them in some place that will bring you comfort. Do it for you, not for me, because I honestly don't really care. The main point is, I want you to get rid of the ashes. I want you to look forward in your life. You know, I'm gone at that point. I said either my soul is somewhere or I'm gone. One way or the other, though, you know, I will live on in you, in here and in here. That's the important thing. Don't be attached to worldly, meaningless things like a pile of ashes or my dead body or anything like that. That's my message to my loved ones after I'm gone. And I'm getting this done really early. I'm saying this now, long before I'll die, hopefully, and you know, nipping in the bud, telling you right now. And yeah, that's about it. I guess one last thing, if you did fulfill my request, and you're showing this video to a bunch of my loved ones, and I have passed on, and you're all watching this in somebody's living room, I guess my last message to you would be, ooh, I'm talking from the grave. Ooh. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, scary. Ooh. Yes. It's a little bit lame, but it doesn't matter because you're watching this. I've passed on. I don't have to answer for it. In any case, especially if my loved ones are watching this, love you all, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.